generally, as far as the market is concerned, is in a deplorable situation.
McDonald Irunoka reporting.
A bill seeking to regulate social media in the country has passed first reading at the Senate. Upamusa Ogiagbe tells us more.
The bill, entitled Protection from Internet Falsehood and Manipulations Bill 2019, is sponsored by Mohammed Sani Musa, Senator representing Niger East Senatorial District. The proposed legislation was one of the 11 bills read during plenary. In the previous Senate, there was a similar bill sponsored by Bala Naala, then Deputy Majority Leader. However, the bill was withdrawn after outrage by some Nigerians. Musa Ugiagbe reporting.
You're watching the AM News on ITV. We'll take a short break. Don't you go away.
Nigeria, are you ready for the 15th edition of Miss ITV Hot Legs Nigeria Beauty Pageant and ITV Radio Fashion on the Runway 2019? Are you pretty, good looking, intelligent, and you've got what it takes to be the next Miss ITV Hot Legs Nigeria Beauty Queen? Then go get your form now. The first 20 persons to go to Independent Television and Radio, Glasshouse Airport Road, or Purely Event House of Model, number 10, Iagbe Street off Ekewa Road, Benin City. Get their form for free. Wow, what are you waiting for? Celebrating 15 years of Miss ITV Hot Legs Nigeria Beauty Pageant 2019 and be the local winner of our ITV Fashion on the Runway 2019 and win our fantastic prizes and lots of consolation prizes. Audition date Friday 8 November 2019. Venue Exquisite Home 2 Iyama Road GRA Benin City. Time 10 a.m. Dress code black tank top on a blue jean. Grand finale date December 1st. Venue Eluria Hall and Suite Sabalo Road Benin City. Miss ITV Hot Legs Nigeria Beauty Pageant. It's getting bigger and better. Get set for the Keep Walking edition. For sponsorship and participation, call this number 080-5656-3675 or 080-5673-3170. Miss ITV Hot Legs Nigeria Beauty Pageant. Discover the beauty in you. Miss ITV Radio Fashion on the Runway. Fabrics, needle and thread. Creativity at its best.
Celebration of life. The family of Ogbejele announces the passing on to glory of their beloved sister, mother and grandmother, Mrs. Victoria Ota Ogbejele, nee Olelewehe, aged 60, survived by husband, children, grandchildren, brothers and sisters. Obsequies, Thursday 7th November 2019, 5 p.m. Vigil Mass at 6, FA Block Road, off Iumudomo, Ekpoma. Friday 8th November, 9 a.m. Body leaves Ira Specialist Teaching Hospital to Chief Albert Ogbejele's compound, Igwebe. Friday 8th November, 12:30 p.m. Funeral Mass at Mary the Queen Catholic Church, Ekpoma. Signed, Dr. Mrs. Nobeta Ekme, Anegbe for the family.
The Yuletide is here again.
Oh Lord, our eyes are on you. So,
shower your blessings. But God does not come down. He sends his vessels.
Yeah, ITV Radio presents the Sambalidating Father Christmas, aka Father Blessing, to shower gift this season.
Kindly invite ITV and Radio Sambalidating Father Christmas, aka Father Blessing, to put smiles on the faces of your children. Visitation commences November 2019.
We hereby call on schools, churches, and corporate organizations to make their booking now, as visitation is on first come, first served basis.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
For booking, call 0708 365 2474.
ITV and Radio Sambalidating Father Christmas.
Shower your blessings.
And now talking football, coach of Netherlands under 17 national team Van der Ven Peter has revealed the secret he adopted to record a shock win over Nigeria's Golden Eaglets at the round of 16 in the ongoing FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Brazil. Van der Ven Peter revealed that he employed a secret Nigerian scout to help explore the loopholes of the Nigerian side prior to the encounter. The cadet Orange side hammered 5-time world champions 3-1 on Tuesday to progress to the quarter-final rounds. The Netherlands coach said that thorough analysis of the Manu Garuba-led Eaglets from a coach very familiar with Nigerian football played an important role in the win. The Netherlands went into the game as underdogs, having won one game in the group stage, to qualify as one of the best losers in the competition. The Nigeria Olympic Eagles played a goalless draw with Cameroon as preparation ahead the Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations that will commence in Egypt this week. The team showed brilliance as coach Imama Amakapabo expressed satisfaction with the display by his word after he made a handful of changes to give all of them fair chance to showcase their readiness for the competition. The Under-23 AFCON will compete among 8 teams where the best 3 will qualify for the football event in next year's Olympic Games. Nigeria will commence their campaign against Cote d'Ivoire on Saturday in Group B. Still talking football, Granit Xhaka has been stripped of Arsenal captaincy by the manager Unai Emery, replacing him with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Unai Emery officially announced stripping Granit Xhaka of the captaincy in his Europa League pre-match press conference following his incident with the Emirates crowd against Crystal Palace a few weeks ago. Most of the club fans were of the opinion Aubameyang should have been given the first role in the place. The Gabonese keeper will lead Arsenal squad out on Saturday when they take on Leicester City in the English Premier League. That wraps it on the AM News. Do join me for the news update at 9:30. I'm Philip Omo Gyupon. TMI continues shortly with Oyi. Good morning.
Independent television, certainly the best.
The Yuletide is here again.
Oh Lord, our eyes are on you. So,
Shower your blessings. Shower your blessings. But God does not come down. He sends his vessels.
yeah, ITV Radio presents the Sambalidating Father Christmas, aka Father Blessing, to shower gifts this season.
Kindly invite ITV and Radio Sambalidating Father Christmas, aka Father Blessing, to put smiles on the faces of your children. Visitation commences November 2019.
We hereby call on schools, churches, and corporate organizations to make their booking now, as visitation is on first come, first served basis.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
For booking, call 0708 365 2474.
This show is supported by IKL Gas and Sons Limited, dealers in all kinds of phones and accessories, 4G Wi-Fi, gadgets, SIM cards, registration, and many more. Located at Shop 18 Golden Plaza, 17 First Ibiwe Street, off Uppermarket Road, Benin City. Petrol Trucking Services Limited, experts in professional certificate training programs such as health, safety, and environmental management, introduction to rig operations, pipeline maintenance, and non-destructive testing level 1 and 2. Number 12, Iriri Road, Oko ADP, GRA, Benin City. ITV and Radio Sambalidating Father Christmas.
Shower your blessings.
dance, 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 oh yeah. Dance, no they shy. Lift your hands, bend your waist, oh yeah.
Dance to the Lord.
Lift your voice, raise your hands, give him praise, oh yeah.
Dance to the
I say it, no they shy. Lift your hands, bend your waist, oh yeah.
Dance to the Lord.
Lift your voice, raise your hands, give him praise, oh yeah. Jesus is worthy of our praise, oh.
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise,
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise. Jesus is worthy of our praise, oh.
He's worthy of our praise.
Baba for heaven, now you with his hand. We give you glory, I give you praise. You sent your son, no, to die for me. Now for this love, oh, I got to praise your holy name. Jesus is worthy of our praise, oh.
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise,
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise. Jesus is worthy of our praise, oh.
He's worthy of our praise.
Yeah, from the depths of my heart, I want to say thank you. You never drop me like a tracks at the top of the charts where I rank you, Baba. It's unlikely. Say I go ever see one we go like me, like you, cause thoughts waiting towards me, so good, kinda like Nike. You the boss like Hugo. I go where you go. And your love is out of this world like Mars. And you talk about Bruno. Who no, make you know you're the best of the best. Who no, make you know. Spirit, body, and soul. Praise all I know, let's go.
Jesus is worthy of our praise, oh.
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise,
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise. Jesus is worthy of our praise, oh.
He's worthy of our praise.
Dance, no they shy. Lift your hands, bend your waist, oh yeah.
Dance to the Lord.
Lift your voice, raise your hands, give him praise, oh yeah. I say, no they shy. Lift your hands, bend your waist, oh yeah.
Dance to the Lord.
Lift your voice, raise your hands, give him praise, oh yeah. Jesus is worthy of our praise, oh.
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise,
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise. Jesus is worthy of our praise, oh.
He's worthy of our praise.
My God for heaven, not to you with the sing, not to you with the dance, yeah. Not to you with the pray. Some say with the crescio, some say with the man. But all we know is we must lift your name today. Jesus is worthy of our praise, oh.
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise,
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise. Jesus is worthy of our praise, oh.
He's worthy of our praise.
I beg you the shame, clap for my lane. I want to praise his holy name. He wipe my shame, lift me to fame. He using grace, clear my disgrace. No be debate, come appreciate, no speculate. Come demonstrate, come jubilate, come activate. We must lift our hands, celebrate. Jesus is worthy of our praise, oh.
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise,
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise. Jesus is worthy of our praise, oh.
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise, oh.
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise,
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy of our praise. Jesus is worthy of our praise, oh.
He's worthy of our praise.
Jesus is worthy. 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 Jesus is worthy.
Dark Side Theaters.
Nigeria, are you ready for the 15th edition of Miss ITV Hotlet Nigeria Beauty Pageant and ITV Radio Fashion on the Runway 2019? Are you pretty, good looking, intelligent, and you've got what it takes to be the next Miss ITV Hotlet Nigeria Beauty Queen? Then go get your form now. The first 20 persons to go to independent television and radio, Glasses Airport Road, or Purely Event House of Model, number 10, Iagbe Street of Ekewa Road, Benin City. Get their form for free. Wow, what are you waiting for? Celebrating 15 years of Miss ITV Hotlet Nigeria Beauty Pageant 2019 and be the local winner of a car and other fantastic prizes. ITV Radio Fashion on the Runway 2019. Are you a fashion designer? Do you run a fashion school? Do you run a fashion boutique? Then go get your form now for 5,000 naira to contest for ITV Fashion on the Runway 2019 and win our fantastic prizes and lots of consolation prizes.
Chairman of the occasion, Barrister Case Rabo, Constitutional and Human Rights Lawyer.
Special guest of honor,
Honorable Gideon Owaka, former Edo State Commissioner for Education.
Audition date, Friday 8 November 2019. Venue, Exquisite Home 2, Eyama Road, GRA, Benin City. Time, 10 a.m. Dress code, black tank top on a blue jean. Grand finale, date, December 1st. Venue, Eluria Hall and Suite, Sabalo Road, Benin City. Miss ITV Hot Lake Nigeria Beauty Pageant. It's getting bigger and better. Get set for the Keep Walking edition.
This event is supported by Oviomu Foundation, helping to build a better society through numerous platforms.
Vive La Vive Boutique, sales of female and children clothing, shoes, bags and other accessories. 11A, First Uber Road, After Water Resources, and located at Market Square, Sapele Road, Benin City.
Fortune Skincare, 61 Adesua Grammar School Road, off Bob by Water Resources, and Demodu Cooking Gas, 247 FM Way, Benin City. Wesley Premium Table Water, number 2, Wesley Street, Oka Community, off Benin Sapele Road, Benin City. Honorable Michael Izomo, CEO, St. Izomo Farm Organization.
Ogbe Motors Nigeria Limited, 202 Sapele Road, Benin City. Global Foods and Cinemas, 59 Urubi Street, Benin City. Samotaka Generators and Electronics, number 66 Wire Road, Benin City. Burr Bank Oil, located at Benin Akure Road, Oluku, where 1 liter of fuel is 1 liter. Comrade Osarboy Dausa, co-convener APC Ikbabaka Liberation Movement and President Grassroots Initiative.
For sponsorship and participation, call this number 080-5656-3675 or 080-5673-3170. Miss ITV Hot Lake Nigeria Beauty Pageant. Discover the beauty in you. Miss ITV Radio Fashion on the Runway. Fabrics, needle and thread, creativity at its best.
Richard didn't want to die, but he couldn't stop himself. The collision with the car didn't kill him, but he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, so he continued on his journey. When he hit the inside of the car, that didn't kill him either. But his internal organs carried on travelling until they hit his rib cage, and his lungs were punctured, and the main artery from his heart was torn. And that's what killed Richard.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
His name is Jesus.
He's more precious than gold.
Jesus is more than gold.
He deserves to be celebrated. Are you a Christian? ITV Radio is organizing a show tagged Christmas Ibadu. Come celebrate Jesus with when coming. There shall be lots of fun with DJ Ultimate, different artists, cartoon characters, games garden, and other side attractions. Competitions include
I Know My Parents,
hot ball,
color match, balloon busting, skip and race,
etc., etc., with fantastic prizes. Wow!
Day, Wednesday, 25th December 2019. Time, 10 a.m. Venue, ITV Radio Corporate Office, Glass House, Airport Road, Benin City. Gate fee,
500 naira per person.
This program is partly sponsored by KC Devices Phone Shop, sales of phones, laptops, CCTV cameras, inverters, accessories, and gadgets. Number 68 Airport Road, opposite FIROS, before Akensworth Junction, and Shop 68 Bob Israel Complex, opposite Upper Market, Benin City. Telephone 0803-6408-268.
And supported by Builders Inn, the Builders Mart for tiles, cement, sanitary, doors and roofs. 10 Sokomba Road, 19 and 32 Cook Road, Benin City.
Christmas Igbadu Ragbada.
I don't want to know what's happening with you guys. My lawyers will call you. I won't go house, go cry.
Give me one night with you. But I want to give you some love.
When I wait to return, if you don't watch Nigeria, it's waiting again. Waiting again.
So baby, malamaro quit. Get milli every week.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, they don't swallow on you.
Odiwaya. Epawaya. No sleeping, sugar. My love, sugar.
Keep watching Nanja Mix with Get Freaky on ITV. Don't press that.
The music let me think out.
Hey, I don't want to. See, for the rest of this season, in fact. Hey, oh, why this guy too much?
Me down.
Ping pong, wanna boing. Wait till me that. Oh. Make we knock. Oh yeah, knock. Now my brother be this Terry G. I will knock you up for here. Una believe say Terry G self wants to come out for governor.
Do you believe citizens should take the laws into their own hands?
No, it is not taking the laws into their own hands.
Your Excellency, but do you agree that there were accusations that you made during the campaign that were not necessarily founded?
Me?
Yes. If the party doesn't have a direct influence over the legislative arm of government, how come the party held the primary election, Senate?
The party provided the platform only.
I actually disagree with you, Senator. I think draconian laws would affect more so the masses, the people who do not even have to begin with.
What do they call the incident of October 2006?
No impeachment. They call it rascality.
Rascality.
The bill, entitled Protection from Internet Falsehood and Manipulations Bill 2019, is sponsored by Mohammed Sani Musa, Senator representing Niger East Senatorial District. The proposed legislation was one of the 11 bills read during plenary. In the previous Senate, there was a similar bill sponsored by Bala Naala, then Deputy Majority Leader. However, the bill was withdrawn after outrage by some Nigerians. Ikma Musa Ugiagbe reporting.
Okay, that will set the tone for our first discussion on the program this morning, looking at the new move by the federal government to, as we now understand, sanitize the social media, or put differently, bring sanity to the social media. But quickly, we want to remind you that the race for who becomes the girl with the hottest legs 2019 is on, and of course auditions have been ongoing now for a while. So we thought we could broaden the net a little and give a few more persons the opportunity to be part of it. And as such, independent television and radio have been magnanimous enough to say, hey, we can extend this gesture a few more days just to ensure that a few more persons are brought into the nets as quickly as possible. So all you have to do for you to be part of 2019 Miss ITV Hot Legs to get a free form, which is not something we usually do, is to send your name and location to 0803726759 via WhatsApp. Please note that, via WhatsApp, 08038726759 via WhatsApp. Just send your name and location to that number, and then we take it up from there. But the good thing again is, at the end of our discussion on the program this morning, we'll be giving you ladies who are eligible a chance to call in, tell us your name and location, and then you can also see the possibility of making sure you get a copy of the form so you can enter for the competition. But in the meantime, we want to return to our discussion on the program this morning. Remember, we have two. We're starting with the first one, the move by the federal government to tackle hate speech and, of course, fake news across social media platforms. I'm joined by Reverend Olugbenga Alege. I hope I got that one correctly. He is, of course, a cleric, and he is a public affairs commentator. But in between, of course, he does a whole lot of other things. But this morning, we want to tap into his passion for a better Nigeria. I find the kind of society we want to see. So good to have you on the program this morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Great. It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
You know, you and I, we had a brief talk one time about certain issues that were not very pleasant, right, about our state in particular.
Yeah.
But this morning, we want to look at an issue that is, for want of better words, countrywide, which is the move by the federal government to say, hey, we can do something about this social media rave as we know it now. Because social media for a while has been a phenomenon, and it will appear it will continue to be that for a long time to come. When you look at this initiative by the federal government, what really are your sentiments?
Okay, thank you. Let me first of all say thank you for having me. Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians. All right. To be very, very frank with you, the idea of sanitizing social media is not that in its holistic approach as if it's bad.
Okay.
So to say, we all know, actually, even on the internet, it depends on what you want. At times, you might be browsing the internet, some things just pop up. There are different kinds of things. Like I tell people, when you go on the internet, you must be focused on what you want, on what you need, what you want to get. Okay, I haven't said that. I know that social media can be a lot of activities, both the good, the bad, and the ugly. But the truth is this, and we must have to live with this. Social media has come to stay.
So we can't fight that?
No. We must settle that in our mind. It has become a part of life. Almost everybody you see now have an Android. Almost everybody you see has something. And social media has gone so viral, so that there is virtually anything you can do right now without, if a friend of mine was telling me that his sister just looked at it and said, you are not on Facebook, that you are not living.
So that defines people now.
Yeah. He said, you are not on Facebook, you are not living. And because of that. So let me establish that. It is not that having to sanitize, that's the word. We don't want to say control, right? Because there are two different things. Sanitizing the social media is not bad in its entirety, right? But now, we now look at what is the motive behind it. What is the motive behind and then why are you making this move? Is it are you reactionary? Are you reacting to some things? And then if you are reacting to some things, if you ask me, the first thing that you'll have done if you want to, if the motive is genuine, you want to sanitize things like this, is that you discover that you have to first of all right, make known what, okay, these are the things that we notice.
Yeah.
These are the things that we notice.
So specifics.
Yes, specifics. You talk about specifics. These are the things that we notice, and for the betterment of whatever, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. Then we might even come to a round table and discuss it. And you can even see, even the people who are into internet, the IT experts will be able to advise you and say, okay, this is how we can do this, this is how we can do
certain modalities that can be put on the ground.
There are very, very good modalities that can be put, and then the people, the citizens, we know that you have their interest at heart, and then they will even see and say, okay, this is why you are doing this. But when you just come out and say, we want to sanitize social media, is it because, just like you said, you are looking at hate speech? What are the things? Why are the reasons that you want to sanitize social media? And then the timing again.
But could there have been a better time? Because people always talk about timing. Could there have been a better time than now?
Oh, okay, there could have been a better time. It may not even be now. Like I said, it may even be gradual.
Okay.
It may be
so
gradual.
are we hasty about this? Is that
yeah, we are.
I'll tell you something. The Minister of Information is particular about two things. I mean, he speaks on behalf of the federal government, at least as far as this issue is concerned.
Yeah.
He talks about two things: hate speech, fake news. I think fake news is really at the core of this. Because, I mean, we are in the conventional media, so to speak, all right?
Yeah.
So we won't just put a news story on air until we have checked and double-checked. We must have done our due diligence before the story goes on air. But for social media platforms, for blogs, for example, it's more random. It's more impulsive and instinctive. So somebody just gets a piece of news because you're keen on being the first to break it. For you think it's a scoop. So you want to be the first to put it out there. So everybody sees it and they buy into it. I had a guest on the show here on Tuesday, and he talked about how that people are more likely to believe what they see on the screen. There's some level of authority that comes with it. In the US, for example, Donald Trump has spent the last 2 years plus fighting what he personally termed fake news. People say fake news has always been here, hate speech has always been here, but that should not be an excuse for us to leave it to grow wings, to flourish and then become even much bigger problems.
No, it shouldn't be an excuse. Like I have established, I'm not averse to that.
But you talk about motive.
Yeah, but you talk about motive and the timing, right? Because, and then what are you targeting?
Okay.
See, for you to, that's why I say we must be careful about what we use. That's why I like the word sanitize.
Not regulate.
Not regulate or control.
Okay.
Right? Because we are all aware about Arab Spring. I'm sure that's what the federal government is aware of. But if you look at hate speech, yes, there are hate speech, and you have fake news, which is the crux of the matter.
Right.
Now, fake news, let me be very frank with you, right? The conventional media, both the print and the electronic media right now, cannot even survive without the social media. That's the truth.
Because of the media convergence.
That is the truth. Because of the convergence and because of the synergy.
Okay.
If you see a lot of even TV stations now, they have their own app. You say, okay, subscribe to this app, download the app, and do this thing, and give us.
Right.
Some will even tell you first-hand news. You know, take the picture, do this, and do that. Now, having said that, it's not that everything is bad. Now, the issue of the fake news, yes, there are people who, as I was talking before I came on, as I was preparing for this program, I just told myself, I think there is some level of intelligence redundancy or laziness. Whether you like it or not, in this 21st century, social media has come to say, now there is a cyber war going on. There is a cyber war.
Does it look like we don't recognize that there's a cyber war?
Thank you. We don't recognize that. See, if it's in the US or any developed country right now, have you ever heard US coming out to say we are fighting, we want to regulate or sanitize social media? There are people, even before these things come out, they have really thought, projected and said, in the future, something like this might happen. Why don't we start dealing with it now? Putting things in place.
All right.
Are you getting me? So by the time these things, you can bring these things down immediately and say, okay, even if you cannot take everything out, you'll be able to control things, because there's a cyber war going on right now. And it's high time Nigeria, we live up to that. And we recognize that, and then we plug into it. We plug into it. When we plug into it, we ask questions. Okay, who can help us do this? And then again, I think the people again, in order to sanitize, you need to get close to the people. For you to say you want to start doing this kind of a thing, it means that you are a little bit far from the people. And when people don't get good information, when even the government hoards information, are you getting me? What is right before my eyes? I see you, Uyi, you are wearing blue. Are you getting me? You are wearing this color of this thing, and the citizens see we are wearing this kind of thing, and then the government comes out and say, no, what you are wearing is white. Your jacket is white. The people will tell you, no, this is what we have seen.
You're already making a whole lot of points with this matter. We're going to push this conversation further for you. We'll take a quick break now. We're back shortly. Stay with us.
It's mobile.
Trends and social media craze amongst today's youth cannot be overemphasized. Hence, week in, week out, we are here, doing everything possible to share with you the happenings down there.
I'm not going to leave this place. We're in front of the... There is nothing like by force. You can't force me. Can you touch me? Is it part of your rights to touch me?
The support and the love is real.
Thank you, the fans who have hung around. Thank you for 2018. 2019, expect more madness.
My phone wants to blow up.
He has a sexual problem, a disease.
I know you know my baby, Burna Boy. Yeah.
That's a great record. That's a great record.
That's your baby? That's my baby, babe. Ooh.
My name is Sidney Shocker. Join me every Thursday evening, 4:30 p.m. on ITV on Social Trend. Don't miss out.
Don't call me for a show. That's how I do.
Thank you for staying with us on the program. I was just talking with Olugbenga Lege a while ago about this social media frenzy, and he mentioned something very striking, which is the Arab Spring. We can't forget very soon, starting from 2011. I mean, that conversation has not changed. Instead, it has continued to expand and evolve. Remember, too, that the Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, also mentioned countries like Germany, Egypt, who have done this, who are currently doing this as well. It gives the impression that this is something that has a global, as it were, approach to it, because it will appear Nigeria is not the only country affected. But what exactly are the peculiarities as far as approaching this issue is concerned? Remember that over time, people have asked two questions about the internet. First, who owns the internet? That is, if it's possible somebody even owns the internet in the first instance. The second is, can the internet be regulated? Remember that the internet has two subsets, the web and social media. They are two different things, all right? But now we're particular about social media because that is where people can go to get interactive. People do all sorts of things. They say all sorts of things. Of course, let's also know that there's the blessing part of the social media. People organize real-time trainings across social media. There are churches that broadcast live on Twitter, Periscope, for example, live on Facebook. There are people, trainings, institutions across the world that leverage these tools available on social media to do what they do and make the world a better place one day at a time. But the concern that the government is having now, according to the Minister of Information, is if we do not nip this in the bud, this country one day will wake up and realize it's on fire. Fred Uigwe is an economist and a politician. He has just joined us on the program. Good to have you on TMI this morning.
Thank you very much.
I'm just going to allow you lend your voice quickly too, because you are very interested in social issues as well. This conversation doesn't look like anything that's going to leave here anytime soon, because just yesterday the Senate already ensured the bill being proposed passed through the first reading. That's some progress on some level. All right, so when you look at all this, what's your candid assessment?
It's ridiculous and it's surprising that this administration, especially one with an information minister that we knew, and we've always known to be a social critic himself, a political critic of no small measure, is the one championing the restriction of the voices of this, what we used to call the silent majority. The social media platform has given opportunity to the silent majority to be heard, and it didn't used to be so. When in 1948 the United Nations Charter was established, there were guarantees, and some of those guarantees are right to life, freedom of association, freedom of speech, which by extension is freedom of press, and freedom of movement. And we are signatories, we are a signatory to that charter. That means we must abide. It is because these are freedoms and rights that are necessary for human development that they were established, and they have become part of democratic processes, particularly because only democracies actually are designed to protect this right to life and the freedoms. We claim to practice a democracy. We cannot be at the same time practicing a democracy and not practicing a democracy, because you cannot say, okay, these are the elements of a process, and then you start doing things inimical and negating that process and claim to still be doing that process. It's either we are a democracy or we are not. And if democratic processes are designed to reflect the minds of the masses, the minds of the people, how are you going to be able to do that? You see, what is happening with social media is that knowledge is increasing. As knowledge is increasing per individual and collectively, so also it is expanding across the world to places where ordinarily they will not get information. Now the world is receiving information in real time. And why should we be the ones restricting that? And again, like I have said, the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, being the one championing such a restriction is a major,
let me ask you this again.
It's a disappointment.
As a follow-up, do you agree that two phenomena, fake news, hate speech, have proved to be very destructive?
Are we going to set fires to our forests just because there are snakes in the forest? You know, look, come on. With every process comes positives and negatives. How do you control the positives? Who now determines what is fake news, or who now determines what is right to allow and what is right to disallow? You are in office today because you have an opportunity to serve the people. Tomorrow you are out of office. So tomorrow you lose that right to regulate. And somebody with an opposite opinion comes into power and reverses that which you have done. That should not be the case. This is just a platform that allows people to air their views. The governments have a responsibility to be able to sift through this, and they also have the resources to determine what they can use and what they should jettison, and then to enlighten the people as to what is and what is not. And we have seen a lot of mischief. With all due respect, let's think about the President of the United States. He has taken the issue of fake news to levels that are embarrassing. You know, because you can't just say anything is fake news because you don't like it. Anything you don't like is fake news. Anything you don't like is anything you do not like. It's against the government. If you cannot stand the heat, don't stay in the kitchen. In the kitchen, to cook, there must be heat. If you can't stand it, get out of the kitchen. It's only in this place that we do not have officials who have of the honor enough, the integrity enough to resign because they no longer fit in the mode of the popular opinion within the government in which they serve. Instead, they remain there because of what they will personally benefit, and that is a disgrace.
Okay.
I think we should rise up. We should rise up above that level.
We're going to talk about bits. Talk a bit about rising soon. But let me come back to Olugbenga here. The federal government knows that for things like this to pull through, for you to record success, there has to be a legal framework backing it. So it's not something you're just going to do at the whims and caprices of one person or a government. All right. So the first thing is to send a bill to the Senate, which of course is in the works as we speak right now. But aren't there several other issues that must be addressed if this has to work at all?
Yes, there are, that was why initially when I started, I said, one, timing, motive. I want us to put that at the back of our mind. And then you must look at this. This is very, for me, is laughable. Because now, there are processes you need to follow. If you know, the process you need to follow might even take you as far as 1 or 2 years.
Okay.
Right? There are other institutional frameworks you need to follow. There are other processes you need to follow in order to bring this to bear. And that's why I'm saying this is very, very laughable. Okay, even if it has been passed, it has passed first reading now. Maybe because some our representatives and senators just feel that, okay, this is a way of having to gag not just the press, okay, right? Not just the press. If you ask me, is a way of gagging the people, the entire citizens of the people, and say, okay, there are too many informations going on around here and there. Now, if you know that there are other frameworks you need to follow, then definitely you will know that this thing is not something that can be done right as soon as possible or within a framework of maybe 2-3 months. And as we are going through that, you will know that, come to think of it, even the Minister of Information himself, he has phones. He's on social media.
But I think it's more important what he does with his phones.
It's more important, but that's how he gets information. He's not on TV all the time, right? He travels,
obviously,
and someone will get him and say, okay, see this thing. His children, you know, as I was preparing for this thing, it's so exciting. I was just talking to myself. I told myself, okay, let's have an experiment, right? An operational experiment. Just start from your home. Tell your children, okay, I want to sanitize social media in this house. All of you don't have, and see the reaction from your home first. Let them see the reaction from their home before bringing it to the national level.
The minister says there's something that gets him feeling uncomfortable, which is the fact that, according to him, the Nigerian Union of Journalists, I mean, that's a leading union of media practitioners across this country, ought to be the first to throw its weight, in fact, even jump in on initiative like this. Instead, they are not supporting, instead they are criticizing. But then again, what government, according to him, is doing is to say, let's take the conversation to the stakeholders so they can throw their weight behind this. But what really brings about some sort of controversy now is the fact that there's supposed to be, as I mentioned earlier, a convergence between the traditional media and the social media. So if the NUJ, according to the Minister of Information, does not believe in this enough, is not confident in this enough to want to throw its weight behind it, to want to support it full-fledged, that raises questions as to going forward, how possible it will be to make this a reality.
You are very right, and I want to commend the NUJ for that. And that
was that the right move by the NUJ?
Yes. See, let me tell you, that means that the NUJ, they know that things are dynamic.
Okay.
You know, even life itself is dynamic. The way we were living 10 years ago is not the way we are living right now. NUJ and NUJ too knows. Don't forget this thing. I want to say motive. The NUJ must have looked through this critically and say, no, this is what, and this is, no, we see some things here. These things are not right. One, you are not following the lay down institutional framework to get these things done, even though now they have gone to. Secondly, why the timing? Secondly, what is your motive for this? And so NUJ just say, no, we cannot be part of this, because they too, as NUJ, even they know that we too are on social media, and that's the way. That's a very, very good way of reaching out to our people. And even the NUJ himself, they know that journalism has gone beyond. If I want to read papers now, I may not buy the hard copies. I just go on my Android and I read the news. The NUJ themselves, they know that they get even information firsthand from their. For example, Balog Market just got burnt about 2 days ago. Before the conventional media got there, the people around have taken their phones and say, see what is happening. We travel on the road. It's bad. As I'm talking to you now, Warri Road is terrible. Benin Warri Road is terrible. Nobody's saying anything. Benin to Auchi Road, Epuma, Auchi and everything. Terrible road. You see people, when they get there, immediately people take there and say, see what is happening here. This is what is happening. That is not hate speech. It's people expressing and saying, we want a better deal from our government. It's very, very, it's very surprising that the same government that came on this mantra and on this road on the back of the same things, yes, on social media, they are now coming back to guard the social media. Because when you say people must be free, free speech, free this one, as freedom of association, according to the charter, just as he said, and now you are coming back and turning against the same thing that you rode on the back.
Government says the idea is not to gag the press or stifle freedom of speech. Okay. That's already established. So why then are we still feeling uncomfortable and having misgivings about this whole?
Okay, let me tell you. It's one thing to say one thing. It's another thing to see. Your action speaks louder than your voice. You can say, okay, this is not the reason why we are. It's like the closure of the border right now. We know, apart from stopping the rise, importation, and
smuggling of arms and everything else.
Yes, the insecurity, the insurgency, and that's why someone like me, I back that move to an extent, which is good, right? Because to come in, and if you see since then, there's been a little bit of sanity in the aid.
Since the closure.
Since the closure, right? Although it may be a little bit discomforting to some people, to the citizens, but we need to bear with that. But coming back to what we are discussing, now, the government saying they are not doing that to guard. We know, that's why the timing, I continue to say it, that's where the timing comes in. Why are you saying this now? Why are you doing this now? Why? Is it because someone is bringing... You, for example, when you heard information, for example, President travels out, right? And there's a lot of labaloo all over the place. See, if Trump is sick today, this is the way media can be managed. If President Trump or any president is sick today, we are all human beings. There's nothing wrong coming out and the media person say, sorry, the president is Jimmy Carter was sick. They will come out and say he has this kind of ailment or so disease.
They will tell you how that he's undergoing treatment.
God bless you, and they will start telling you he's undergoing treatment this one. That puts the minds of the people at rest. You can even start praying for him. But when the president is out of the country and you are saying no, he's still in Abuja. Are you getting me? And say no, he went out for medical these things. No, he just went there for vacation. There's nothing wrong. We are all human beings. So when you start doing that, it gives people the opportunity to start digging more.
To speculate and push fake news.
And that's why you will see them. They now say, okay, they say he's in London. Okay, let us go. Before you know, they just record something within 1 minute and put it on social media. Why? Because you were not truthful enough. Are you getting me? That is the reason.
We're going to get to our second discussion very soon, but I need to talk to Fred a bit about this. When you look at this issue of fake news and social media and so on and so forth, it's a bit more elaborate than we are even talking about here. Because you talk about social media, you're looking at giant tech companies whom are not even in Africa, let alone Nigeria. These are guys based in Silicon Valley, somewhere in California, for example. Is there a chance that the government has a plan in place to, at some point, synergize with the Googles, with the Twitters, with the Facebooks of this world to ensure that there's a strong collaboration enough to make this happen? Because it's not just going to start and end at the Senate, apparently, is it?
The very vision and purpose of the invention and establishment of social media business does not lend itself to being gagged and to being restricted.
They can be sanitized, can't it?
Look, listen. Here, it's an opportunity for us to self-regulate. Okay. This is a platform. It's like in a conference, or like, okay, in the parliament. The parliament is supposed to be a representation of the people. But for the parliament to function, there must be, of necessity, the freedom of expression in the parliament. On the parliamentary floor, there is nothing that cannot be said on the parliamentary floor. And the reason is, if you restrict the members from being able to say certain things, then their representation of the masses becomes restricted. So you want their representation to be total. And for them to have total representation, they also need total information. In restricting social media, we are tending towards totalitarianism, dictatorships. And that's inimical to what we are trying to pursue, democracy. Democracy guarantees freedom of expression. And because that is the one way that you can get information enough to be able to make progress. The Bible says, in the multitude of counsel, there is wisdom. So you need to hear from everybody. And I will cite a particular example. In 1980, in 2000, in year 2000, and I think it was 2007 or 2006, there was Hurricane Rita in the United States. And after what happened the previous year with Hurricane Katrina, the people were scared because the direction was facing the fourth largest city in the United States, Houston, Texas, with about 6 million people. And then they decided to move. People decided to leave the city rather than be caught up in the same devastation that had just affected their neighbor the previous year. And there were 3 million people on the highways. Okay? And everybody was tuned to the radio, trying to listen to where to go, what directions, where the traffic was flowing, and all of that. A journey that usually took, like Houston to Dallas, 4 hours, was taking up to 30 hours because the highways were clogged. Then somebody, just one person, who had wisdom, said, why are there vehicles still coming in and vehicles going out? Let's direct all vehicles
one-way traffic
out of the city. The government picked it up because somebody spoke that didn't have opportunity to, or probably didn't even have the phone numbers to the managers of the hurricane, of the disaster, of the impending disaster. Okay. And they took that on advisement, and immediately they began to work on it. And everybody got impatient. Oh, why can't we get out of this? Why can't they just, switch all these lines and all of that, let everybody get out? But they were working. They got in touch with every community, every precinct police along each of the highways to let them know that this was what they intended to do. It took about 3 hours for them to effect it. And when they now effected it, instead of 30 hours to get out, it took me, for example, 18 hours to get out. It reduced it. There was an improvement because one person spoke. Then when you now restrict social media, we lose that opportunity. So you are not going to throw away the baby and the bathwater. You want to throw away the bathwater, but you don't want to throw the baby away with it. We are here telling ourselves we want to develop, we want to advance, but we are doing everything to take us back. We didn't invent the social media. We are not the leaders in the management or in the administration of social media. They are leading nations who are much more advanced than us. It behooves us too, if we are smart, to watch what they are doing and to copy, because they are ahead of us in that technology, even in that social understanding. They are studying, there are people who are studying it. There is no evidence that anything here has been studied. So like my good friend said, what is the motive behind it? Because it inconveniences you, then you want to restrict the people. You pull everybody back. Synergy, we want to join our hands together, everybody, the government, the public and the private sector, to pull this nation forward. And it's not going to happen by restricting information.
Okay, we're just going to talk about something that we all have to pull ourselves out of in a bit, but that'll be right after this break. Do stay with us.
I'm sure that you already know that we are possibly the lowest in terms of tax to GDP. We are one of the countries that's probably the lowest. In fact, I don't know any other country that's lower than us except maybe Somalia or somewhere. Well, it's certainly the lowest by far. So there's a need for us to actually increase tax in terms of absolute numbers. You know, we should increase income tax, we should increase the rate of income tax and the rate of corporation tax. With respect to the detention of El Zaki and Dasuki and all that, let me say first that I very strongly believe that we must obey the law. We must, you know, and I'm a strong believer in obedience to court orders. I do want to say that I believe very strongly that where the orders of the court are given, we must obey the orders of the court. But we also reserve the right to appeal. As you know, within the limits of what can be disclosed, there's a lot of negotiations that are going on, and we continue to negotiate with those individuals who are holding the Chibok girls. We have gone quite far with negotiations for, you know, hopefully another batch of the girls. The FBI, as well as the State Department, came up with a report that the president, or what the president said, was wrong. I didn't hear anybody say, what a dysfunctional government. Why did the State Department not agree with the president? Why did the FBI not agree with the president? In fact, it was praised as being the robust, the very robust expression of constitutional governance. Everybody playing his role. When that happened, the president looked at both what the SSS said and what Magu said. And the president said, I'm satisfied with what I've read here, and I'm putting back this same Magu as my nominee for the EFCC chair. And that's exactly what the president did. You know, and I don't see any reason why that should be contested in any way. He has not interfered with what the DSS wants to say. He's not interfered. If he wanted to interfere, he would say, DSS, don't say anything there, keep quiet. It is up to the Senate to make their judgment. It is up to us to say what to do what we wish. If our candidate is rejected by the Senate, we can represent our candidate. There is no law that says we cannot represent our candidate.
Apparently, that was an interview the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshimbanjo, had granted Guardian TV not so long ago. But there are several issues that he raised today. He talked about the acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, that's the FCC, Magu. That has become an issue of controversy over a long time. But we want to look at the institutional elements in the fight against corruption, or in the anti-corruption war, as it's always called.
specialization is in business. For you to be able to operate efficiently, which is the only and the sole purpose of every business, you have to be able to bring resources together and apply them at their optimal contributory levels. So when you begin to plan a production system, and then you now introduce that element of corruption, that skews the elements that you are going to bring to bear for production. And when it skews it, you become less efficient. And when you become less efficient, you are able to less compete. When you are able to less compete, you are able to make less profit. Eventually, you run out of business. That is where we are as a nation. We cannot continue to condone corruption in the hopes that somehow we will make progress. It does not, they don't go together. It's something that, it's a cancer to us and something we have to solve. There have been attempts, different attempts. Instead of us to tweak those attempts to fix them and make them better, for example, the whistleblower program, which I was very excited about.
I think most Nigerians welcome that policy.
Yes,
right?
I was very excited about. We had thought that that was a system that was going to be improved upon. But instead, the executives, they laid back while the legislative arm destroyed it, because many of them were going to be indicted, or yes, they were going to be indicted over, such practices. Let's take Indonesia. I was listening to the president recently. I think his name is Widodo.
Joko Widodo.
Joko Widodo. He said he has in custody, he has in prisons 109 legislators who have been corrupt, and a number of ministers, former and supposedly serving ministers, who were found to be corrupt. You cannot live, we are living in a society where there are no consequences for infractions, for breaking our laws. Why make the laws if you are not going to enforce them and you are not going to punish those who violate them? It does not make sense. It's as good as not making laws. A society like Nigeria, where we know, we have all agreed that corruption has become systemic. We have less than 100,000 people in our prison system. It's laughable. If we have to control it, the only thing we need to do is to make sure that there are consequences, that the people, it becomes a psyche with us. And that is why in a society like that of the United States and most of the advanced nations, they understand that there are consequences for violating their laws. In China, China understood very well that to be able to make progress in their system, you have to execute those who want to work against the better will of the generality of the people.
We've also seen reports saying that those are extreme moves. I mean, Amnesty International, for example, Transparency International, they've all been pushing hard, very hard, railing against those moves where you have capital punishment for people who are corrupt. They're saying we can have a less harsh punitive measures in place. But in many of those nations where they have evolved to now want to denounce capital punishment, they have long prison sentences. Okay.
I've heard of prison sentences in the United States upwards of 300 years in prison. Multiple and even single prison sentences. Yes, life imprisonment actually does life imprisonment and long prison sentences. You see, the consequences have to just fit the bill to discourage.
Okay.
Because it's what you call the felicific calculus. The criminal or the violator calculates the benefits against the consequence. Okay? So if he thinks, oh well, I'm only going to be fined $500, so if I 500 naira, so if I steal 10 million, I will just go and pay the 500 million. What do you think he's going to do? He will steal it. But if he realizes that if he steals 500 naira, he's going to lose 10,000 naira, he's not likely to steal it.
Okay, let's talk about the institutions now, Olubenga, fighting corruption in this country. You have the EFCC, you have the ICPC. And then in recent times, you started having different panels saddled with the responsibility of recovering assets for federal government and so on and so forth. Just yesterday, news is reporting that Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, has cut down the powers of the EFCC and the ICPC. That's one. The second has scrapped these panels, puts together, you know, of course, one was led by Okoye Bono Obla, who had since been removed from office. Are these steps in the right direction?
No. Let me first of all establish something. There is no problem with Nigeria.
Okay.
The problem is with the people. Let's establish that. Because when everybody's talking, they're talking about Nigeria, Nigeria, Nigeria. Nigeria is not a tangible or a visible entity that you can hold. Right? So, if you bring some set of other people into this same entity called Nigeria, they will establish good order. And Nigeria will become envy of the entire world. I want to establish that. So which means the problem of corruption is not with the country itself, it's with the people. It's with the people. They are the people, it's the people that perpetrates corruption, acts of corruption. And let me say this, corruption in different dimensions and classifications. You have the exotic corruption, transactional corruption, financial corruption, and then we are depending more. We are concentrating more on the financial aspect of corruption. Now, I haven't established that. The issue of the institutions, EFCC, ICPC, and all other panels, one of the ways, one of the institutions, if you don't have the political will, and when you have the political will, what is the motive behind that will? Right. ICPC, EFCC. I would rather call this, when you say war on corruption, I say I'm not too comfortable with the word war. I would rather say reforms, right, about corruption, on corruptions. Now, EFCC, there has not been too much. How many of our governors, how many of this thing has been prosecuted? And if you want to link that with the judicial system, the snail speed at which things, even in the process of, it will interest you that even in the process of prosecuting corrupt cases, corruption takes place.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle. You see, you caught someone, okay, for example, the issue of plea bargain. Just like he said, you know, if you've stolen 5 billion, and then I can bargain, and then at the end maybe I'm settling with 500 million. To me, that is corruption. And
the plea bargain is used by advanced countries like the US, for instance.
But you look at your environment.
So there's peculiarity.
Yes, there are peculiarities to it. You look at your environment. When someone is hardened and say, okay, I'm going to do this, and I want to say this again, the society too are not helping matters. We are not helping matters. When you celebrate people, you don't know where they got their money from, you don't know where a young man is doing things, and you celebrate them. So even the EFCC and ICPC that we set up, how effective are they?
Going by what you just mentioned now, the idea that society, there's an obvious erosion of values.
Yes.
That's what you're implying. Yeah. And then, of course, young people make money. Nobody cares how they made the money, where they got the money from. Instead, we're celebrating them. Yes. I think the FCC is doing a lot of work on that front, because in recent months, we continue to hear almost on a daily basis cases of the so-called Yahoo boys, some of them even in university hostels, being arrested, and a number of them successfully prosecuted. Already. That's some substantial progress.
that is some level of progress that you say. Now, but even with the EFCC and the ICPC that you are looking at now, how free are they to prosecute this?
But they have acts empowering them, establishing.
That is where the political will comes in. Okay, you saw a governor. I don't want to. You saw a governor. There's a video. You saw this governor exchanging money, taking bribes and everything, and you say you still need evidence, and the man is still in power. What are we talking about? The political will to do it. That is institutional. Then
some lawyers at that point also said the man being, on account of being a city governor, is immune from prosecution until he leaves office. That argument checks out legally, doesn't it?
It goes legally. Yes. But even after leaving office, how many have been prosecuted?
Okay, maybe we should take a deep breath and wait for the man to leave office. While we're waiting for him to do that, I want to call. No, yes, I'm going to come to you, Fred, eventually. But let me talk to Shedra quickly. You are a young man, obviously. Young people in this country are often put in the spotlights where issues of corruption, financial corruption, just as Luke Benga said, is concerned. It will appear even the older generations blame the younger ones. They say, you guys have spoiled this country for us. It wasn't like this in the 70s. It wasn't like this in the 50s. This country used to be a much better place, and so on and so forth. Do young people, from what you get to interact with people again, every now and then, on account of you being a youth leader, do you think, are you convinced young people understand the conversation about anti-corruption?
Thank you very much. First of all, let me attempt to correct an impression.
Okay.
Corruption did not begin just a few years ago. Corruption started a long time ago. If my memory serves me right, I think the earliest case of corruption was I think in 1944, when the great Nnamdi Azikiwe was accused of corruption some time ago. So the idea of corruption has been with us for that long. At the point, the British colonial government was even accused of corruption. When at some point they elected Fulani man for certain positions. So my point is, corruption has been with us for a very long time. And for our fathers, our leaders to say young people are not doing better, or young persons are not better than the older generation, I think they are not absolutely correct.
They are not being sincere.
And they are also not being sincere. Okay? They can also be correct, because a fruit rather, does not fall far from the tree. So if they accuse us, young people, then we could also point fingers at them, that we have learned from them. People, learn what is correct, learn positives instead of learning what is negative. Okay, so yes, when he was talking, he mentioned, or rather when you were talking, you mentioned the issue of EFCC, ICPC, and the fight against corruption, and he alluded to EFCC making progress as to, I do not agree that progress has been made in that regard. What are the results? What are the parameters to measure results that have been made? What are the parameters? Have we taken time to study the parameters? So for me, I think the issue of corruption, as has been mentioned, there has been no will, sincerity in the fight against corruption.
Let's talk about that fight more now. Some persons are beginning to point, in fact for some years now, I've been pointing to what they call replication, in some cases they say proliferation of anti-corruption agencies. Some people say we don't even need all of these agencies. After all, before the emergence of the EFCC in 2004, the police force, the Nigerian police, already had an anti-fraud unit that some persons said was at that time relatively vibrant, robust, and result-oriented. In any case, now that we had the EFCC 15 years ago, we should have left it at that instead of coming to establish, further things like ICPC. Then, again and again, every government would want to introduce one form of panel, probe panel, or another. So they feel it's waste of resources, it's just nothing better than replication. Should that be an issue, really, whether we have 10 anti-corruption agencies or we have just one anti-corruption agency?
For me, it is an issue.
Okay.
But they would explain. The EFCC has its specific rules. The ICPC has their rules. We are told the ICPC deals with corruption in the public service.
The ministries, departments, and agencies.
Yes, public service. While the EFCC has the mandate of expanding, goes to the private sector and all that. That is their explanation. But for me, as you have mentioned, if you had that in the police, the anti-fraud unit, ab initio in the police, I do not think there was a need for establishing those other institutions. Some persons would, on a lighter note, say that it's a means for creating jobs.
Okay.
I don't know how true that is. For me, I think it is an issue. If you wanted to expand and improve, build capacity of the anti-fraud unit in the police, you could do that instead of setting up the EFCC, going further to set up the ICPC, and creating committees to look into corruption cases. For me, I think it's an issue.
All right. Fred, you were going to add something a while ago, so you hold up your hand. But just in case you've lost that thought, let's talk about recoveries. A lot of persons say, because he just mentioned that, what are the indices, what are the yardsticks, what are the benchmarks by which we measure how much of progress we've made? I remember there was a time when we had Malam Nuhu Ribadu as the EFCC chair. We saw items being displayed as part of recoveries by the commission at that time. In fact, a specific amount was mentioned. But Nigerians are beginning to get really worried as to where exactly are these monies. Let's forget about the cars and other items, for example, houses everywhere, both in this country and outside. All of the monies we keep hearing about, where are they? What exactly have they been used for? But lately, government has been doing some explanation. Part of the explanation is that some of the money has been pushed into SIPs, that are social investment programs, and so on and so forth. Are we getting it right that way? Because it will appear people want to see more transparency. Apparently, people want to know that you have recovered 50,000 naira from a particular individual or from an institution, from an agency of government or even a privately held organization, and then they want to know further where exactly is the money, what is the plan for that money. Is the EFCC in particular doing a great job with communication?
Let me first and foremost say this. See, the reason Nigerians shy away from paying taxes, when I mean Nigerians, I mean largely shy away from paying taxes, is for the lack of accountability, lack of transparency. If I'm going to send my assistant, my ward, to go on an errand for me, and I give that ward a certain amount of money for a specific amount of specific items to be purchased, and the ward comes and dumps a number of goods in front of me and say, oh, that's what I bought. That's not accountability. Please give me account, tell me exactly how much you spent on each of the items. So that is when there is accountability, that the people are convinced that, oh, for the overt accountability, transparency, and integrity, then they now have the desire to play their own role. It increases the masses' confidence. That is what you want to build. You want to build confidence in your government. You see, when an American, for example, is stuck somewhere, anywhere in the world, he or she is sure that if he calls to their embassy, calls to their government, that something at least will be done. There will be a good attempt to rescue them if they are in distress. I don't feel that level of assurance with my nation, Nigeria. And there's no reason why I should not feel that level of assurance. So you're talking about we are talking about
recoveries.
The agencies.
The agencies, yes.
The recoveries. You see, when you have multiple agencies, the advantage is to having multiple agencies. Because when one agency has become so either corrupt, then you might need a second agency to checkmate them. That's one. If you have one agency too, okay, it might be unwieldy, very big agency. But the agency too will have specializations by departments. So you can decide to divorce that department, those departments from each other. They don't have to
Incidentally, I'm afraid our time is fast spent on the program. I think every time we're having a conversation like this about corruption and many of the social, political issues that we grapple with in this country, it will appear time literally just flies away. Exactly. I want to thank especially the three gentlemen who have been on the program today, starting with Reverend Olubenga Lege for coming. We thank you, sir. We appreciate it. And of course, the gentleman in the middle, a youth, a very vibrant and intelligent one, for that matter. Shadrach Uyedo is the PR2 of National Youth Council of Nigeria, Edo State. Thank you for coming on the program as well.
Thank you. But I say it's unfortunate that we're having to...
yes, I think that's what happens with time.
I wish we had more time to...
Hopefully, in the days, weeks, and months ahead, we'll continue to push this conversation.
Let me say this to Nigerians.
Yes.
There is hope. In spite of all we have been through, there is hope for this nation. Please, Nigerians, don't lose hope in this nation. And they are very good Nigerians. They are very good Nigerians. I feel very when I hear when they say Nigerians are corrupt. No. The people that are giving Nigeria this so-called wrong appellation or whatever, they are not more than about 5-10%. So I want to say this to you, Nigerians, wherever you are watching right now, let's keep hope alive. God is in charge of this nation. Please be proud to be in Nigeria.
I think
wherever you
I think that's a very beautiful place to leave it this morning. I didn't say that coming, but whims can be very advantageous, right? I want to also thank especially Mr. Fred Uyigwe, politician and economist, for coming on the program as well. Thank you.
I thank you for having me.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the day. That's what we're leaving with the discussion this morning. But remember that the 2019 ITV Miss Hot Legs is on. I mean, the auditions are on already, and we have been magnanimous enough, that's independent television and radio, to say, hey, let's give you a handle on this one. Let's give you some good starts. All right, so we're giving out free forms today on the program. So we already told you the number to send your name and location to via WhatsApp. So do that, and I'm back here shortly so we can take your calls and hand you those forms. Good morning. Thanks for joining me on the news update. I'm Philip Omogupon. The Nigerian Bar Association Benin branch yesterday commenced a 3-day boycott of courts in protest of kidnap of Justice Chioma Iheme Nwosu. Ikpenwosa Ogiagbe has details.
Court premises were devoid of judicial activities while the courtrooms were under law. The chairman, Nigerian Bar Association Benin branch, Collins Ogiegma, said the court boycott would last till Friday this week. He stated that if by then the kidnapped judge remained in captivity, members of the body will have no option but to extend the boycott.
States and government to rejuvenate the security system. The way it is dysfunctional right now. And it's reactionary and not proactive.
They said today, I must get my judgment today. So when I came now, I'm surprised to see that there is people is not working.
Okay, I just came to court to observe what is going on and maybe to take dates too. Not for court sitting, or not for court proceedings.
Justice Nwosu Iheme was adopted last week in Benin City while on her way to court. Her abduction comes days after a federal high court judge in Akure, Ondo State, Justice Abdul Dogo, was freed by kidnappers who had abducted him at the border between Edo and Ondo States. Ikmonwosa Ugiagbe reporting.
The Federal High Court in Abuja yesterday adjourned the hearing of the convener of #RevolutionNow protest, Omolile Sowore, to December 5 and 6 for commencement of trial. Justice Ijoma Ojukwu adjourned the matter after counsel to Sowore, Femi Falono, SAN, insists that the court should adjourn because he has not been served with documents and evidences against his client. ITV Abuja judicial correspondent Joseph Kadiri has more.
At the resumption of the hearing bordering on treasonable felony and money laundering against the convener of Revolution Now protest, Omoyele Sowore, and his co-defendant, Olawale Bakare, in the Federal High Court, Abuja. The prosecution, led by Hassan Liman, SAN, told the court that he is ready to present his witnesses for commencement of trial. Objecting, counsel to the defendant, Femi Falana, SAN, argued that the trial cannot commence on the grounds that the prosecution has applied to the Deputy Chief Registrar of the court to provide shield for his witnesses without informing him. The court summoned the DCR, who confirmed that approval was given to the application based on the status of the prosecution counsel. In a short ruling, the trial judge, Ijoma Ojukwu, ordered the prosecution to proceed with his case. The prosecution then reiterated the charges against Sowore and Bakare, assuring the court that he has documents, video recordings, and evidence against Sowore, including how he used Sahara Foundation to launder money. He then called his first witness. The trial was dramatically stopped after Falana, SAN, insisted that he is not ready for the trial and that the prosecution has breached Section 376, Paragraph 4 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, ACJA, that says all documents must be submitted to the defendant in order to enable him prepare for his defense. The court adjourned to 5th and 6th December for commencement of trial. After the proceedings, counsel to Sowore and Bakare applaud the court for granting the request for adjournment.
To have some witnesses taken in camera, we objected to this very strange procedure. And the court asked them to call their first witness. Again, because we had not been given the witnesses of the statements of the witnesses of the prosecution. We made it clear to the court that the case was not right for hearing. After a lot of filibustering, the prosecutor eventually agreed that the documents will be made available to us. And the video recordings they intend to rely on. On that basis, the case has been adjourned to the 5th and 6th of December.
Yes, sure. It's very, very, very certain that by the 5th and 6th of that day, we are going to continue with trial. And I'm also sure that by today, end of today, Sowore will face freedom, will get freedom which he requires. Otherwise, position whereby you start singing with Bablika Huzaya that truth is slain in the streets, justice standard afar off, equity cannot enter.
The prosecution counsel also speaks to press on the outcome of the proceedings.
But the application towards the end of the day to say that they have not been served when the court said we should go ahead, clearly is an ambush on the prosecution, intended by the defense not to proceed with the hearing. But I assure you, on the part of the defense, whatever that is necessary, on the part of the prosecution, whatever that is necessary, as ordered by the court, we will serve the defense.
Showare's counsel believe that he'll be released from the DSS custody Wednesday based on the fact that he has fulfilled all the bail conditions. Joseph Kadri, ITV News, Abuja.
The Inspector General of Police, Mr. Mohammed Adamu, has approved the deployment of 35,000 policemen to Kogi State for the governorship election slated for next Saturday. The Assistant Commissioner of Police, Kogi Command, in charge of operations, Oluwakayode Ayelara, who disclosed this in Lokoja, said that all measures have been put in place towards the attainment of a free, fair, and credible election in Kogi State. He said the deployment of the policemen would ensure visibility, policing of lives and property before, during, and after the election. Speaking at an event tagged Stakeholders Conflict Scan Analysis on Electoral Violence in Kogi State, organized by a non-governmental organization, Search for Common Ground, Mr. Ayelara noted that the choice of ensuring a violence-free election was for all to make. Mr. Ayelara, who allayed fears about the militarization of the governorship election, said that the presence of soldiers at polling units was not envisaged during the exercise. He, however, expressed concern over incidents of violence, particularly in the Kogi East Senatorial District. He said, in addition to the 4 policemen to be posted to each of the polling units on election day, 4 personnel per unit from 8 security agencies would also be on the ground, pointing out that the deployed policemen would arrive in the state on 11th November from Abuja and other states. There is uneasy camp in Oga community in Oriawan local government area following the alleged killing of a young man by a security personnel, which led to the destruction of many houses and property over the sharing of proceeds from a borrow pit in the community. Afosa Awangwe reports that wife and relations of the slain man are calling for prosecution of those involved in the killing.
Most indigents of the community are yet to return home, apparently scared of a reprisal. Relics of destruction of the burnt houses were still visible as only a handful of persons were in the community expressing hope that the issue will be resolved and peace returns soonest. The wife of the slain young man, known as Agawa, said she is yet to recover from the shock of losing her husband, who left her with 2 children and a pregnancy.
People, they run, they come this side. I asked them what they happen. They say soldiers shoot person. The dead body on the ground say so. Couple when they call Winston, they inside the motor. When he sights my husband, say make soldier shoot him.
He carry am go in house. He look and finish. As he look and finish, he carry them come back small time. Now so we still tell all those army people make them come back. Now so they start they shoot gun. They reach here now they kill the boy.
I was coming home when I had a call that my younger brother has been killed.
The way they come and embarrass us, and then I have to run a bad day of my life. Then the army man now started using their healers, trying to pursue me, started shooting me. When they shoot 5 rounds, then the army man call me, don't you want to stop? If you don't want to stop this 6th one, he will kill me. That is how I submit.
Some elders and indigents who commented on the present situation said they have never witnessed such horrific experience where an indigent will lead a security personnel to kill another indigent. They said the crisis would have been avoided if the issue of the borrow pit was properly harmonized instead of the Enogi trading wells with his heir apparent.
I just had a siren in the evening. We were just shouting. Before we knew it, they said they came here and they killed that boy.
So some people in your no more cause a problem.
The origin of the problem emanated from the borrow pit proceeds.
And the youth really don't know where. The percentage of the community, up till now, no percentage.
They are begging the government to intervene to help restore peace. The youths have been agitating for fair share from the borough pit proceeds, but they were denied of it. Recently, the Edo State Police Command image maker DSP Chidi Wambozo said all those involved in the dastardly act, irrespective of how highly placed, will be made to face the full wrath of the law.
I want to use this opportunity to advise the youth of Oga community not to take laws into their hands.
A few days ago, a young man was killed and houses burnt in Ogun, and the Enoge, His Royal Highness George Igbinovia, accused his eldest son of instigating the community against him. An allegation the eldest son, Prince Daniel Igbinovia, debunked, claiming that his father instigates his stepbrothers to cause mayhem in the community because of proceeds from the borough pits. Efosa Uwangwe reporting.
24 hours after a section of Balogun Market on Lagos Island, Lagos State Governor Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu has visited the scene and directed that integrity tests be carried out on all the buildings affected by the fire. Sharon Ajayi has more.
Governor Sanwo-Olu said although the cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained, everyone at the scene needs to be careful because the scene is still a live site. He advised traders and everyone at the scene to allow rescue operators work without hindrance.
It is still a live site. People should move away. People should let the operators and the respondents and all of our men be able to do their work and do it well. We need to do what we call a full integrity. We must have done a full to ascertain the level of integrity of the surrounding building.
The fire, which started on Tuesday, led to the death of a police officer who was on duty at the scene. Traders at the market are, however, counting their losses as they said goods worth several millions of naira were destroyed. Sharon Ajayi reporting.
One of the leading stars in the Masquerade, a television drama series, now arrested, Mrs. Lizzie Obueme, popularly known as Ovularia, reported on social media and some online publications to have passed on is hale and hearty. Chief Chika Okbala, who acted as lead character Chief Zebediah Okorigwe Umwogbo, alias 430, in the Masquerade earlier confirmed that Ovularia is not dead and is alive. Obueme acted as wife to Zebi Darling, Chief Zebediah, in the drama that ruled the Nigerian television screen in the late 70s. Before she joined the Masquerade as one of the pioneer casts, she belonged to a group called Evil Checkmate House, from where she was introduced me to late Chief James Iroha, who was producer of the Masquerade. And with that, we call it a wrap on the news update. Thanks for your time with me. Do join me on the World News at noon. I'm Philip Omo Gupon. Do have a beautiful sunrise.
Independent television, certainly the best.
The world is a global village.
And that's because information travels beyond boundaries.
And on this Morning on ITV, we guarantee unbiased analysis on topical issues
that will educate you,
entertain you.
So join us.
Join us.
Join us. Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Every Sunday to Thursday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your ultimate news and current affairs program on television, This Morning on ITV, TMR. Join us.
All right, thank you for staying with us. As we wrap it up on TMI this Thursday morning, we just want to remind you that the auditions for 2019 ITV Miss Hot Legs is on, and we want to give you a chance, which is something we rarely do, so you can be part of it. So we are giving out free forms this morning. All you have to do is very simple. Send us your name and your location via WhatsApp using 08038726759. That's strictly WhatsApp. And the good thing is, after you send your name and location to that number, you can continue to interact there via WhatsApp, so we can give you all of the guidelines that you need. But remember that the whole idea is to give you access to the form that will allow you enter for this competition. But you can call 052-290-573 just so you can tell me your name, tell me your location, and then we'll give you a direction as to how you can get the form. Of course, you must be 18 or older for you to do that. The mobile number is strictly for WhatsApp. That is 08038726759. So as your calls come through, all you just have to do is please ensure the volume on your television set is turned down altogether, and that way we are able to hear you when you talk clearly, and you must be 18 or older. 052-290-573 is the number you can call, so you can be part of this very laudable initiative that independent television and radio are putting up, all in your interest for ladies age 18 and older. Remember, as I said, the auditions are on already at the Glass House, and of course this is one chance you have to shine and ensure that your name is written in bright lights. 052-290-573 is the number you have to call, and then tell me your name, your location, and then you have access to a free form already. Hello, good morning. Well, we lost that call. Hopefully network is not getting nasty this morning on the program. Remember that you just have to keep calling because obviously the line is jammed now. The more you make an attempt to call, the better your chances at getting across to me. We understand that this is the 15th year of this program of ITV Hot Legs, which of course means that it is a landmark. This is the Keep Walking edition, and one way you can keep walking is to put your calls through, and then you have free forms. That is not something that happens every day. So if I were you, I want to take advantage of that by sending my name and location to 0803-872-6759 strictly via WhatsApp, right, or calling 052-290-573, so I get a chance to grab that form this morning as quickly as possible. Hello, good morning. Wow, we continue to lose those calls, and that's interesting, isn't it? All right, as network gets better, your calls will come through, we'll take them, and then give you directions as to whether you want to go to the Glass House, our corporate head office on Airport Road, or you want to come to our communications village here at Igosa. Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning. No, we should be talking to a lady on this number. We should be talking to a lady. Remember that Miss ITV Hot Legs is apparently for ladies. So we should be talking to ladies as far as this segment of the program is concerned. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, we should be talking to ladies. I already told you that. Hello, good morning. Yes, please can you project your voice a little? Okay, I'm sure that more calls are coming through this morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, that's apparently the fallout of a network that is jammed on account of the number of calls coming through. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, please, we are talking to ladies on the program this morning, ladies who are interested in being part of 2019 edition of Miss ITV Hot Legs. That is the Keep Walking edition as we know it. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir. Is it for ladies alone?
Yes, it's for ladies, sir. Please, if you have a girlfriend or you have a sister who is interested, let them call through on their own. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good to have you on the show.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name and location?
My name is Yukoji.
How old are you?
18.
You're 18. Hello, can you hear me? Oh, the lady says she's 18 and then the call is truncated. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Please remember when you're calling through, just do well to turn down the volume on your TV. That's the only way I can hear you. Hello, good morning. Wow. Network has never been this jammed. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, lady. Good to have you on the show. Of course, I don't want to believe you're flashing because this is so important that the last thing you want to do is flash. So those calls you keep coming through 052-290-573. Hello, good morning. Okay. Hello, good morning. 052-290-573 is the number for you. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Yes, good to have you on the show. Please, your name and location. Please turn down the volume on your TV. You can hear me through your phone, not on television.
I can hear you.
All right. Yes. How old are you?
18.
18. Great. You've just won yourself a free-form courtesy of Independent Television and Radio for 2019 Miss ITV Hot Legs. All right. Depending on whichever one is convenient for you, you can either go to the Glass House, that's our corporate head office on Airport Road, or you can come to Communications Village here at Igosa. All right. Congratulations again. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Well, hopefully we can take a few more calls and then hand out a few more forms before we go on the show this morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Please, when you call, ensure the volume of on your TV set is turned down altogether, and then raise your voice while you're talking. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I'm the girl that called when you ended.
Oh, great. Did I ask your age?
Yes.
How old are you?
18.
Okay, cool. Whichever, I don't know, whichever one is convenient for you. You either want to go to the Glass House on Airport Road, or you come to the Communications Village at Igosa to pick a free form for yourself.
Okay, sir.
All right, so you enjoy the rest of your day. Let's take a few more calls now. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, this is beginning to look like fastest voice first, as against fastest fingers first. Okay, let's take just one more call, and then we're done on the show this morning. Remember, it's your opportunity to shine really bright and then have your name written in gold. Okay, so you want to put those calls through and ensure that you grab the chance to get a free form that is courtesy of Independent Television and Radio this morning, so you can be a part of 2019 Miss ITV Hot Legs. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, please, we are not talking to gentlemen this morning. We want to interact with ladies and give them free forms. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. What's your name and location?
My name.
I can hardly hear you. Hopefully you can call back at some other time. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Quickly tell me your name and location.
I'm Victory, coming from information.
Okay, how old is Victory?
I'm 18.
Okay, Victory, you have just won yourself a free form for 2019 Miss ITV Hot Legs, courtesy Independent Television and Radio.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful. So you are going to go to either the Glass House corporate head office on Airport Road, or you come to Communications Village at Iguosa. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right, congratulations. Incidentally, that's what we're leaving it this morning, but I want to say congratulations to those who have won themselves free from courtesy ITV and Radio. Remember, it's a chance to enter for the 2019 Miss ITV Hot Legs. Keep walking edition. I love that part of it, really. Okay, we're going to continue to give you the chance to shine, particularly as this year's Miss ITV Hot Legs is concerned. But for now, this is where we call it a wrap on TMI. Remember, the views of our guests on this program are exclusively their opinions. I'm Muyi Agmofwegbe. Enjoy a big Thursday ahead of you.
This is ITV. Certainly the best.
Are you looking for a place to study with uninterrupted educational system? Are you looking for a place where you can study, work and remain after graduation? Or are you looking forward to relocate with your family? Worry no more. At Edu Abroad Educational Service Limited, we process your admission and study visa with ease and rest of mind. We process your Canada Express entry on a timely basis. We register and train you for IELTS to obtain high scores. Admission is now open in Canada, UK,
water by any means and from any source.
We rise as early as 4 a.m. in search of water from this pond.
They have no any other means of getting water, and that's the only way they have to sustain